What's up, YouTube? And today I just wanted to share some of my testimony with y'all. Yeah, man, it's been rough for me this past year. Mostly 2023 has been extremely challenging in a lot of ways. But this video might be kind of long. I don't know how long I'm gonna be talking, but I figured maybe if I break down what I've been experiencing these past 7 years, it might be able to help somebody. If you're going through something, I'm gonna try to do it in pretty fast, but if you can follow, if you can stick through to the end, it might help you if you're going through something yourself. A lot of people don't have, a lot of people just don't feel comfortable with posting very sensitive stuff on the internet, and I guess at times I could be one of those people. I really don't have a lot to go on in my life, but you could be prideful, you know what I'm saying, if you see yourself in a certain light and you know that at a certain point in time you're not living up to that standard in which you see yourself. So I guess that's where my issue come in, knowing that I can be better, knowing that I am better, and then kind of not liking what I'm going through. But at the end of the day, I gotta keep my faith, and I have kept my faith. But it started when I was 21. It started before 21, but I'm gonna just say 21 because at 21 is when I felt like God started talking to me, you know what I'm saying, not with words, but just more so through like happenings. So I would have a certain experience, and I was able to see somewhat of what I was supposed to learn from that experience, and then I just accredited that sight to God, you know. So at 21 is when I started driving trucks. Now I'm sorry. Is when I started driving trucks, and it's I failed my CDL test 2 times in one day, and I passed on the 3rd time, which was like I scheduled a week later. And then when I applied for the job, my first CDL truck driving job, I did the orientation. I did orientation. I did the whole physical exam because it was delivering beer, so they wanted to see us, you know, squat and move, and you had to go through like a little course and whatnot. I did all that stuff. I know what I'm capable of doing. I know how hard I work. They don't know me. I'm in good shape, so it's not like I look like a good candidate, but there's other people that was there too, and they was in good shape as well. So they ended up choosing another guy or whoever. So I got a phone call. I'm all excited thinking like I got this job, right? But they ended up calling me, and it was like, yeah, we just wanted to let you know that we went ahead and we went with somebody else. So I'm thinking to myself, like, man, I've been talking about I had this job and now I don't have it. So immediately I went to the library and I filled out 7 applications. And it's crazy because it just came to me, that number 7. But I filled out 7 applications, and after I filled out those applications, as soon as I was finished with the last one, I got a call while I was leaving the library. I'm still in the library, but I'm walking out. They said, hey, Mr. Cummings, this is Silver Eagle. We'd like to make you an offer for $40,000 a year being a route assistant. So I was 21 at the time, and $40,000 was a lot of money to me. You know what I'm saying? What year that was? In 2016, I believe. That was a lot of money. So it was like, I was cool. Like, I felt like, oh, my life finna start, and I'm finna be able to just kind of be comfortable and do what I do. So I went ahead, I got the job. Once I got the job, I'm working. I'm on routes with people and whatnot. Man, everything good. Me and my lady got an apartment. We furnished it. I went and got a new car. Like, it wasn't really much wrong with my first car. It was a cash car. But, when you young and you kind of feel like you really don't know what can go wrong in life. So I was really like believing that, excuse me, I'd be at this job for a minute. My mustache hair be bothering my nose. But I really was believing that I was gonna be at this job for a while. So I went ahead and got a car. Went to CarMax and got me a Impala. And it's just like, I'm living life. I'm thinking I'm good. I can afford this car. I can afford my rent. Not thinking about nothing else. Then after a while, now I'm the oldest of 6. So I wasn't, at that time I was completely clueless to the way God was working in my life. Like, I seen small signs, I would say, what, this gotta be God. But like, I wasn't really fully like on it for real. And then my lady came, she got a job. She worked this job for like 2 days. She didn't even work it. She just went to orientation. And she met this lady. And this lady told her about team driving. So with the team driving, she came home and she told me about it. And it actually spoke to something within me. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't really trying to go over the road because I didn't want to be separate from her. So it was like, I was trying to prevent that. You know what I'm saying? So when she said she's on team drive, I'm like, okay, bet. So I'm thinking we finna team drive. She said, oh, it's gonna take me 4 months to figure it out. She had to make her mind up. She had to feel good about it. I guess she had her own process she had to go through to get ready to go team drive with me. So it bothered me in my spirit, and I just felt like I had to go. So I went ahead and left, and I went without her. I went to prom, and I got trained on how to drive over the road. So I was out there for like a month and a half, 2 months. I got a truck, picked her up. And once I picked her up, we was rolling for like 3 months. And out of nowhere, get a phone call, oh, your dad got stage 4 cancer. And then it was just like, oh man. So then now that was like when it all started to come at me. And then, I'm working, trying to help. My dad was an owner operator as well. And he had his own semi truck, and he used to work local. And now he did not, a lot of people think that he inspired me to be a truck driver, but he didn't. He was a great person. He inspired me to do a lot of things, but he didn't inspire me to be a truck driver. If anything, I was trying my hardest not to be one. I only chose to be a truck driver because a friend of mine that used to work with me and went to high school with me started driving and just told me what he was doing and how he was doing. And that, I felt like, you know what? All right, I ain't driving because of him. I'm driving because of me. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't really give him no credit for that. I don't think I have to, because in my heart it was like he would have rather me being a correctional officer or go to the military or something. He not driving trucks. So he got his truck, and he fell ill, so he's in the hospital. At this time I still had 4 siblings that was still in the house. So, and my mama was working at the post office at the time. So I'm working, I'm helping them out. Then next thing I know, boom, you get a phone call. Your mama got a brain tumor. And I'm like, man, like, come on, dude. What I'm finna do? It's just me. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a lot. My mama got a brain tumor. My daddy got stage 4 cancer. They got a house with a mortgage. He got the semi truck. She got this Audi. I think she had a Q7. It was a Q8. I think it's a Q7. It was a big Audi truck. They were living a pretty decent lifestyle before all that stuff started to happen. So now it's like a lot of weight on me. I got my own place, and I'm trying to assist my parents, helping them to the best of my ability. And then my dad ended up passing away in 2018, October 2018. So I drove his truck before he passed away. You know what I'm saying? I hopped out of the truck at Prime. I drove his truck locally. That went south. The people just wasn't righteous. And then I went back to Prime. I got a truck. And when I got my truck back at Prime and I came back, like, he passed away a few days later. And then like the same day he passed away, like the next day I had to leave and go back to work. So I wasn't able to just be with everybody and grieve and whatnot. But so I went back to work. Now I'm working, and man, I'm just trying to make sure that I can support my family because my dad just passed away. So my mama got this brain tumor. She not working no more. So they need a house, and she gonna need a car because her car got repossessed, and the house got something happened to the house. I don't know. I know it was a mortgage. It's either it went foreclosure, something happened. So I'm like, you know, just trying to make it work for my family, and man, it was rough. It really was rough. So, 1 second. Yeah, so it was rough. So I was able to get a house, pretty big house, which was surprising. So I got a house, and then she needed a car, so I was able to help her get a car. And, you know, I was able to kind of pull myself forward. So I said, okay, my lady on the road with me, so it's just us and our 2 dogs. We ain't really got no major expenses, so we on the road. We come up with a plan to try to start living life. You know what I'm saying? Again, after all this done took place, trying to live life again. So she gonna go to school. I'm a train at Prime, and that's what we gonna do. And as soon as we came up with that plan, 2 weeks later, my mama, my old lady said she pregnant, and it's just like, dang. So from there, I went ahead and started training. So I trained the guy, and I ended up buying me a truck in February of 2020. I bought a cash truck, and I bought that truck. We had our daughter, our first daughter, and then I was at Landstar. So I stayed in Landstar until January of 2023. And I left Landstar January 2023. And I decided I'm gonna get my authority because it just started getting rough in Landstar. I don't know, I just felt like I need to get my authority. And what's crazy is I didn't even have all the same. I had money. It was times where I had, you know, 25,000 at one time, and that may not be a lot to a lot of people. It wasn't even a lot to me, but it was something. You know what I'm saying? And I was happy that I was able to save up that money because I had never saved up that much money before. So even in that time, I didn't think, oh, I need to get my authority. So I don't know. Just something hit me like, get your authority. I felt like it could work, right? Things was rough in Landstar, so I was barely really able to save any money, but I had a lawsuit. Somebody had totaled my Impala that I got from CarMax. So I took all my money and I borrowed money from people and I put it all into my authority. I put everything into it. And maybe like I borrowed like before I say in the beginning like 5,000 in the beginning, and then through having my authority I borrowed like a couple more thousand. So I get the authority, I set everything up by myself. I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm eager, my heart is in it, and I'm giving it my all. So I take off. I hit the road. I'm working with Schneider. I'm trying to make something shape. And little did I know what was going to get to happen. But time went on. You know what I'm saying? The first 3 months I'm running with Schneider. I got a factoring company. I'm able to make a little bit of money, but not really nothing. I wasn't really able to make no money. You would gross money, but you got insurance, all kind of stuff. And then before you start running with your authority, you got to put like 20. You got to put 3 weeks in the hole. So 3 weeks in the hole, bills due, insurance come shortly after them 3 weeks, if you put it right. Just different things, right? So, oh man, I'm just trying my best. I'm really trying my best. I'm trying to pay my rent, trying to pay my insurance. Together, that's almost 4 bands. Anything pop up with the truck, if you add lights in with rent plus cell phone bill, that's gonna take me right over 4,000. Then we talking about food a month. That's that's some, and then expenses and the cars and whatever pop up, helping my my family and whatnot. So I'm just running, man. I'm trying to pay people back, and it just seemed like the whole just getting deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. So what month that was? This is August, July, June. In about June is when I made the decision to give my authority up. The end of June, I started working USA Truck. It was a lot better. Like I could have made money with them, but I just seen like how the road to making that money was just, it was a lot that was required from you, because they wasn't willing to pay you no more than $2 a mile, and that's with the fuel surcharge. So you just gotta really like run like crazy. And I got kids, and I'm trying to have a balanced life. I stay out 2-3 weeks at a time on recaps. I'm out 3 weeks on recaps. No Father's Day. I'm over the road running on recaps like for 3 weeks. I don't know how I did that, but I did it. And I was just trying to really make it, man. And it just seemed like no matter what I did, I would come home with empty-handed, because I had expenses and bills, and there was always something due, because I always had to push something back. So every time I turned around, it was this do, that do, this do, that do. So I'm basically borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. And I just found myself in a real deep hole. Even to this day, as we speak, this day today, I'm still trying to climb out of. And I had to reach out. I had to borrow some more money. I needed to, because my rent got to get paid. And I got a new job. It don't pay as much. It's not over the road. It's local. It can be good. It will be good in time. But I got to be able to weather the storm that I'm in right now. And if I can weather the storm, then I can pretty much balance myself out in a few months or so, right? But I had to borrow. I had to borrow money today. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like not knowing how I was going to pay my rent. You say, man, this dude, you 28, you got kids, you doing a horrible job. I guess I might be doing a horrible job. I don't know. I know I'm trying. I know my lights ain't been cut off on me yet. It's a lot of things that's been almost, but it ain't happened. And I'm just trying to make sure that my family's straight. Ultimately, it's like I realized that with your authority, it requires a sacrifice, and I wasn't willing to give a sacrifice. Like, it was asking me for a certain sacrifice, and I wasn't willing to give it. And I think if you got your authority, and if you started, I don't know, even if you started with a good financial support, I don't know. I just know that for me, it was asking me for a sacrifice, and the sacrifice was time. It was mental, emotional. It was asking me for me. It was like, are you willing to sacrifice yourself for what you want? Because when you get your authority, you really can kind of see your growth. You can see like, all right, if I manage to make it, I don't know, 6 months, then as long as you're consistent, you'll pretty much pull yourself out of whatever situation. Even with the rates being low, you still can make it. You know what I'm saying? It'll be rough if you got like expensive equipment, but if you got paid for equipment or low cost equipment, then you pretty much can pull yourself through. So I'm like, okay, I can pull myself out of this situation, but what is the best way for me to do it? And the best way for me to do it was for me to be gone for 3 weeks at a time. And I got a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. And It's just like the majority of their life, I just been going in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. And it's like a lot of people, they value money a lot. And somebody may say, well, that's your problem. You don't value money. And I'm like, no, it ain't that I don't. Well, I really don't value money. What I value is time. So for me, I started looking at the sacrifice I'm making. Is it a sacrifice that I'm willing to make? Is this something that I'm okay with doing and missing out on those moments with my kids? Because having my complete authority, being completely independent, and then running for rates that you know you're supposed to be making way more than this. You start thinking about all that. Then you start thinking about the risk that you take. And it's like, you start looking at, well, if you were to die in an accident, how would you feel? What do you have to give to your kids? If you don't have, and like, what kind of memories did you create with them? What kind of moments did you share with them? Not that I don't share moments and memories, but it's like, if I was to die today, like, what, you know, like what, like how that's gonna, what is that gonna be like for them? So I'm just looking at everything, like the risk that I'm taking versus the reward. This ain't a risk that I'm willing to continue to take. So I called it quits. Boom. My lady says she pregnant. No, this is number 3. Right? So she pregnant. We already got 2. So I come home. I met this dude. I talked to him one day, and I talked to him since. And he mentioned a truck show that was in Houston. Now somebody had sent me a VIP ticket or whatever. They just sent me a ticket to get into the truck show. So I had seen it in my email, but I ain't paid no mind to it because I ain't planning on going. But this man was like, man, you should go. And I went. So I went ahead and went to the truck show. Took my daughters, we went, and I seen this company that somebody referred me to before. And I chopped it up with them, and I went ahead and applied, man. This is me moving on faith now. Everything that I'm talking about is me moving on faith. I went ahead and applied, and I was trying to figure out how I was going to transition from having my authority to that, because in the midst of working for them, it's a process, you know, it's like a week-long process. So they got to get you drug tests, you got to take tests online, you got to get truck inspected, this and that. So I'm doing all of this, yet I'm still running up underneath my authority. So I leave, I apply, and then I get a load, and I run out, and I'm going, because it's like I'm down to $10, and I'm sitting up here like, oh, I got a $10, man. How am I finna pay? I don't know what bill was due, but I was like, I'm finna do anything with $10. So I was like, you know what? Let me see if I can apply for a credit card. I applied for a Capital One credit card. They gave me $500. Cool. Now I got $510. That's better than that. Then from there, I managed to book a load. The lady I was working with at USA, she got me some loads, and they were pretty good. Actually, some of the best loads that I had right when I'm finna get to go. So I ran up like Oklahoma, Missouri, and I come back down, and I had them made like, I don't know, $2,500, $3,000, and that helped me. That carried me over. Like, that helped me pay my rent and some more bills. You know what I'm saying? And carry over until I was able to get my first little check. And it's like, I've been in that space, and then it still have been times where I needed to still borrow money. So I done borrowed $1,500, but I paid it right back. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, bro, I need this for this. I'm finna shoot it back to you like this, boom, boom. And I kept my word. Go your bread. And then today, you know, I'm in a situation where it's like, you trying to pay people that really can't afford to wait no more on you, and then you trying to pay your bills, and it's just a lot you trying to balance and deal with, man. And you're really trying to figure out what you supposed to be doing and what you're doing wrong. You say, well, you ain't working enough. I'm like, well, I ask every weekend, hey, do y'all got any work on Saturday? Nah, man, we ain't got nothing. Okay, cool. I can't make them have more work. I get up every day and go to work at 4:40 a.m. The port in Houston open up at 6. I don't normally get home to 6 o'clock in the afternoon, so I'm working. Like, I know I'm working. I'm always working. Hey, what you got? Today I got up and went to work at 1 o'clock this morning, went to Dallas and came back. I do what I can, and I know that I'm giving my all to my family, putting my all into my life, and it's just like, I know God is trying to teach me something. I know God is trying to show me something. So, ultimately, throughout all of that I done said, broke down, you gotta keep your faith. If you made it this far in the video, this might be for you. You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep your faith. You cannot lose faith. It's easy to lose faith when things are not going in your favor. You know, it's easy to give thanks when things are going in your favor. Oh, everything's going good. Thank God, thank God, thank God. But when things are not going as you deem to be good, it's easy to say, you know what? I gotta make something happen. You stop believing that God got you, and you start trying to figure out your own ways to go about getting whatever done. And I used to battle with that, because I was like, should I be that way or should I not be that way? And every time I tried to be that way, it almost seemed like it was more, I was stressing a lot more. Hold on. So yeah, every time I tried to be that way, you know, go do it on my own or force it, it seemed like I was stressed more. And, you know, I just learned to just go with it. So instead of being overwhelmed, because it's easier to be overwhelmed by all the stuff that I know I got to tend to. Like I'm in debt right now with people and just with the business. About a cool 13,000-14,000 on top of your monthly bills. That's what I'm in debt right now. So it's like, I'm trying to pay all this back before the year over with, you know. So it's like weekly, I'm trying to pay people back, pay bills, and still just survive. It'd be some weeks where I'd be having $25-$30 to my name just for me to eat. And I drink water when I'm at work. I don't really eat when I'm at work. Sometimes I do, but ultimately, man, this video is really for people that are, if you can relate, if you're going through it, if you feel like the world closing in on you and you don't know what you're gonna do, how you're gonna get through it, when things gonna change. Don't concern yourself with what you can't change, because you don't know when you're gonna come up. Just continue to have faith, knowing that you're gonna come up, knowing that things are gonna change. Like, don't associate what you go through with who you are as an individual, as a person, because it's easy to do that. It's easy for me to be hard on myself, knowing that other people are gonna be hard on me from my story. It's still easy for me to be hard on myself because it's me living it, and it's like, it's easy for me to be prideful. It's easy for me to say, oh man, you know, I ain't gotta tell nobody nothing. It's my life. You know what I'm saying? It's easy for me to keep this a secret, but it's like, truth be told, you know, you really need faith. You should have some faith. You gotta have some form of belief when you're going through it, because if not, it's easy to be consumed by darkness, even though what you see around you is light. Like, I can see the plant behind me, my books. I can see all that stuff. So the light allows me to see that. But within yourself, you can go into a dark space because of whatever you got going on within you. You know, you uncomfortable. You know, and that's really what it be. I be uncomfortable. It be moments, man. I mean, you go a whole year without making no money. You got a semi truck that you own, and you can barely afford to do anything. I'm really walking on a thin line. People that are older, wiser, more experienced. Oh, get out of business. Sell your truck. You don't deserve to be in the business no more. You horrible at doing what you're doing, whatever. Honestly, man, having my authority taught me that this ain't my passion. If anything, communication is my passion. So I'm really trying to lean more into this. But trucking ain't it. So, you know, you got it. You know, you might be right. And then everybody ain't cut out for it. Now, I can drive a truck. Now, I can navigate the U.S. I could fix on the truck. I can do some things with a truck, but it just I realized that that's not for me. It's not for me. And you know, hey, I'm cool with that because going from being a company driver to having my authority really taught me a lot about how you spend your time. I spent my time, in my eyes, I feel like the way God intended for me to spend my time because I didn't care to drive trucks in the beginning. I only started driving trucks only because I wanted to start living my life, and it's just like, boom, it just threw me right into it. So it's almost like everything went full circle. You know, I filled out 7 applications. I was 21 at the time. I've been driving for 7 years. I'm 28 right now. You know, it's something else with dealing with that number 7. But it took me 7 years for me to get from that point to this point. You know what I'm saying? It took me 7 years to fully see the full spectrum of everything. So now it's like, I don't know, I'm moving forward content with where I'm at. Even though like where I'm at is not what you would say is a good spot. I mean, it ain't that I make bad money. I just don't make as much money as I used to make. And it's a slower grind. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna make your money, but it's more so over time. I ain't pressed no more to go and make all the big bucks. I used to, but you know, I made the most money when I was home every day, off on weekends. I realized that's when I saved all that money up at Landstar. I was home every day, off on weekends, and I had more of a balanced lifestyle. So now I'm just really being where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going with it. I be praying and hoping that I can catch a break with social media in the sense of like communication, YouTube, TikTok, a podcast. Somebody say, let's do a podcast and let's really get it going. That's what I be leaning towards because I know like I got a lot to offer, a lot to share. So if you're going through something right now and it's hard for you to see, you got to have the faith of a mustard seed. You got to believe that you're going to get through it, and you will, because honestly, I don't know how I be being blessed, Like, it was a lot of blessings in what I just said, because throughout all of that stuff, a way was always made. A way was always made throughout every single situation. So I have to give it to God. I have to. I can't take no credit for it. You say, man, you did that. You called. You did this. No, I didn't, because I couldn't foresee it. I couldn't see how I was being set up to drive my dad's truck. You know, like, I couldn't see it. I worked at that warehouse for 2 years and 7 months. I couldn't see how that time of me being there was prepping me for the next stage of my life. I couldn't see it. So I didn't know that my pops was gonna pass away. I didn't know that. I didn't know that my mom was gonna be diagnosed with a brain tumor. I didn't know that I was gonna have 2 daughters. I didn't know none of this stuff. You know, so for me it's like, man, God is good all the time. You know, so if you're going through it, just remember to keep the faith. Know that you will get through it. Slow down, calm down, breathe, and look at your situation. Because you got some blessings that's around you, but you just got to be able to see. And you got to be open to it. You can't be having dark thoughts expecting to be blessed. It don't work that way. You gotta really kind of like just focus on God. Really, that's about the only thing you can't do when it's in these moments, man. You can't lean into yourself, lean into your flesh. You can't buy your faith. You know what I'm saying? You can't go buy alcohol. You can't go smoke some weed, do some drugs. You can't go do none of this stuff to try to get rid of the reality of what you're experiencing. You can't do that. You know, you have to stay true to your faith. Not religion, but stay true to your faith. Stay true to God. Allah, that creative, whatever, stay true to that. And that's what's going to see you through the rough times, because throughout all of that, I had moments where I was up and I had moments where I was down. And I would just say that that's what it taught me. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep your faith in all moments. And when it's like a full spectrum for life. It showed me pretty much how I need to moving forward. That when the good times come, they don't last for a long time, and when the storm come, sometimes you never know that it could start out as just some high winds and turn into a Category 5 hurricane. So it's just like, be prepared. You know what I'm saying? And just learn to live in between both. I'm still able to smile right now. I'm still able to play with my kids right now. I'm still able to tell people I love them. I don't take what I got going on out of nobody else because it's unnecessary. Because this too shall pass. So whatever y'all going through, know that you're gonna get through it. Know that things are gonna get better. Just keep your faith, man. I just wanted to share that with y'all because somebody else believed in me, and they believed in my experience and my testimony. And it's so much more to it that I left out, but I just wanted to share that. Y'all be blessed and be safe.